bet he has a white girlfriend. There was something in me that felt that when it comes out, it's going to be a white woman. And when Antoinette revealed to me that he was in Sweden somewhere with a blonde-haired white woman.
Very white.
It crushed it.
Not even a spicy white.
I don't celebrate that. And me as a biracial woman, I understand that
that's weird, right?
That's weird.
Why do you feel that way?
Because for some reason, I feel like all of the black women that I know that are in relationship with white men are being loved up. They are exalted. They're taken care of. Like, there's no doubt in my mind that he is riding for this woman and loves her to death.
If you want to support the platform, just in case anything like this happens again, you can do it by way of PayPal, Patreon, Cash App, and also by the Anchor. And you can also further support the platform by way of going to the Teespring store or the shoe store that is located in the comment section below. So before we get started, I just want to give a special shout out to Water Sniper. I saw your message and I saw the video and I was like, oh, all right, well, I guess I got to put, my 2 cents in directly on this. For anybody else that would, in a sense, want to put in their 2 cents, be it male or female, clearly put that directly into the comment description as you are listening to the video.
Bet he has a white girlfriend. There was something in me that felt that when it comes out, it's going to be a white woman. And when Antoinette revealed to me that he was in Sweden somewhere with a blonde-haired white woman.
Very white.
It crushed it.
Not even a spicy white.
I don't celebrate that. And me as a biracial woman, I understand that
that's weird, right?
That's weird. I'm not gonna celebrate their children that they have. If they have children.
Wait, you're not gonna celebrate the?
Oh my God!
I'm just saying, like, it's not. Their relationship is not something that it doesn't make me be like, yes, like, some people together, you're like,
even though that's how you got here.
Together.
That's how we all got here. A white woman and a black man.
I think my bias comes from black men have been so vocal about the fact that they date other races instead of black women.
Yeah.
And that's why it rubs me the wrong way. Like, if you like white women, that's fine. Like, I can understand anyone being attracted to anybody based on common interests, based on, common talents, whatever it is that attracts you to a person. I believe in love firmly. But what I resent and what I get crazy about is when the conversation starts to become about the comparison of whatever their preference is to black women,
especially when they reach a certain.
Because black women who date white men, you never hear black women who date white men have a conversation around the fact that they don't like black men. But you know what I think that stems from, right? And I think we're seeing a lot more of it now, and it gets under my skin as well. We have been ridiculed and critiqued on both sides of the fence our entire existence, right? We're never white enough for the white people. We're never black enough for the black people. For some black people, however we identify, however we choose to participate in cultural conversations, it's always under the magnifying glass. And I think part of what we're seeing now and what I get agitated about is this concept that now, because it's commercially trendy and attractive for people to be in interracial relationships, it's become a presentation of diluted blackness versus its own us being having a mixed experience that is completely separate from everything else. And I think that's the part that I'm resentful about, is seeing, and somebody brought it up to me. It was like, well, aren't you happy to see like all these mixed families in Cheerios commercials? And my response is no, because it's not. The storytelling is not a mixed story. The storytelling is, this is what's digestible for white people. This is the version of blackness that works for white people, which is not the same thing.
I don't mind seeing black women with white men. It gets even more toxic for me.
Oh, you're toxic.
What? Why do you feel that way?
Because for some reason, I feel like all of the black women that I know that are in relationship with white men are being loved up. They are exalted. They're taken care of. Like, there's no doubt in my mind that he is riding for this woman and
Right.
loves her to death. And I'm
You
like,
don't believe black men do that for white women?
I don't. And I guess there's something salty in me that why these men that we admire and are proud of in the ways that they show up in the world as musicians, as actors, as people that now have money, why is their love being projected onto a white woman?
But then
Like,
let me ask you, with the other women that we looked up to, of course, Serena Williams being one, Eve, and we've talked about Eve so much on this.
Eve's.
Okay, so there's women that we've looked up to that we've loved, and whether it be their style of dress. Serena Williams being the best athlete of all time, they chose white men to not only be with but procreate with. So I want to know the understanding of where you look up to black men and you have a disdain for them being with white women, but when we look up to black women, there's almost a celebration around them getting with a white man.
I can't sit here and y'all tell me, help me through this. I don't have a logical answer. I know
You
that
just
there's
know it makes you
something
feel-
distorted
it makes
in
you
me
feel
that
away.
when I see this,
because-
it makes
hold on.
me feel away. And when I see another couple interracial, it's not the fact of being interracial that bothers me at all. Like,
Yeah.
it doesn't even tap on my nerves or trigger me in any way as being a biracial person. I don't feel like my biracialness has anything to do with it, or at least I'm not aware of that. But I know that I have this bias there.
So in the video that you were able to hear, and it was a part of another full-length video. I'll more than likely have the link in the comment description below. You were able to hear, you saw the images directly behind, all the words. You were able to hear the reactions and the words of three women who I'm assuming all are biracial by the wording that was specifically used, and the reactions throughout the conversation when it dealt with a variety of things. And you heard one woman state, and I'm going to try to, get as close to what she stated. She said that I do not, right, like the fact of singing black men with white women. One of the other women also stated in that same interview, but she was like, that's how we all got here. It was a black man with a white woman, meaning, yet again, generalizing the whole, all three are basically of a biracial type of spectrum and are a part of or a product of a interracial relationship as well. And it's a little bit odd that you would have people out here who are the product of a person that is black and a person that is white growing up in society from those two worlds, and then looking at a certain specific group and stating that, yo, you shouldn't be out here, with this woman here. You should be dating somebody that looks exactly like you. But then in the exact same breath stating that, oh, that black woman is with that white dude. Yo, she's happy. I know she's being loved. It's like it's the most it's like it's a very confusing thing. And the one thing I will, in a sense, state is this: the woman that made that opinion known that she has. She said initially that it was jacked. She said it was screwed. She said that there were some things there, but there's probably a biasness, when it comes to that. And that more than likely has to deal with things that she has to work with, right? Because when I looked at, the group of women, beautiful women, I'm pretty sure that they have no problem at all getting the attention of, black men. Have no problem at all. But as I've stated to people before, it's a very odd and weird thing when you have a demographic that will uplift and raise one individual for being with somebody of a different race, but then demonizing the other. And then going to the far lengths and stating that, yo, I know I feel that when I look at them, like that's genuine, that's love. But then when you look at a black man doing the exact same thing, you're like, nah, there's something wrong with that. He's doing that to, in a sense, attack us. He's doing that to, in a sense, try to get at, black women. He's doing that in order to show us how much he dislikes and or hates us. It's like that's a little bit weird. That's a little bit weird. And as she stated, like, she does not have a logical reason for why it is that she is stating that. And that's a lot of black women who are, in a sense, in that same vein, that feel the exact same way when they see a black man with a white woman. And the main thing I've always stated to people before is like, yo, but actually, let me backtrack. For quite some time on the channel, on both channels, I sat up there and said, a variety of things when it dealt with interracial dating. And I've sat up there, I've disagreed with a whole bunch of stuff, but I had specific reasons why. And I did it on the end of telling the same thing to both black men and black women. I did it equally. It didn't even matter. Y'all all can sit up there and get it. But what I started sitting up there doing now, I was like, you know what? It makes no sense for me to actually realistically worry about this, because whatever happens is going to happen at the end of the day. And all I can basically do is state that my feelings that I've had, no matter what situation, no matter how they've changed or evolved or whatever, they're completely there for people to see. So if people want to feel a certain type, but it's like, oh, but you did this, this video back in such and such, and you said this. That's cool, but I also did another video where the opinion is vastly completely different. I told y'all before, y'all grown individuals. If this is something that y'all want to sit up there and do, go ahead and do it. Do it to the fullest extent. But when it comes down to the point in time that you want to use the person that you're with, as a trophy in order to negatively talk down about the black community, because you felt that you automatically are getting somewhere because you feel that your beauty or you as a man is being recognized, yo, you need to stop doing it. I told all of y'all to shut up. I said that a multitude of times in live streams and in videos. All of y'all need to shut up, and that's 1,000%. Um, because the craziest part about this whole conversation is that the main people that end up having the utmost issues with each other end up being in the exact same comment sections underneath the exact same videos talking about one another. That's the craziest part. That's almost, I put it like this. That's almost more crazy than hearing the theory that you heard the one woman state, where she was like, I'm fine with a black woman. I never saw an issue with a black woman dating a white guy, but there's just something there that rubs me the wrong way when I see a black man with a white woman. The other woman who was there, she had a little bit of a different opinion, and I liked where she was going with it. She stated that, yo, I'm not too happy being a mixed race person. She is not happy seeing all of the interracial couples on television because it's not, in a sense, telling her story or a story that she was able to observe. It's just telling something that is more acceptable to white people. And what she mean by that is they're not going to specifically start throwing out commercials of black love, of black families, going skiing, going swimming with the dolphins, skydiving, rock climbing, going on just trips anywhere, right? They're not going to try to show that nuclear family, that love, or anything like that. What they're going to do is, if they want to show black people, they're going to make sure to pair that black person up with somebody else who is not black, so that it is easier for white people to be more accepting. They might not like it, but they will be more accepting of it versus seeing two black people that actually love each other. Because for one, white people have been trained to basically see that as a threat, to see that as some type of a problem, to see that as something that is going against them, right? But even though at the same exact time, right, they don't like that, they still don't like interracial relationships. But if, for white people, right, for America, if you see a black man with a white woman, that in a sense means that he has been trained. that means that, we're able to potentially, use him. We can potentially do something with him. He might actually, have something there, of worth, right? He's with one of ours, not one of our the top of the top, but he's with something, so he's manageable, right? We can do something there, right? So they'll have, all of that to work with. It's the same exact thing when they see black women with white men. It's like, oh, okay, he sat up there and he got one. All right, let's see what's going to come of this. Let's see if he can make her docile. Let's see if he can train her into a certain type of way of thinking in life. And that's exactly what ends up happening, right? Because the main thing of what has a lot of people stated on social media, right? Whenever you have two black people together, it's argument, 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 aggression, 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 anger, 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 rage, 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 right? Hate, 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 hate. It's usually right, that's what people want to say on social media. But magically, when those same two people who were together decide to be with somebody who is white, magically all of that anger, all of that frustration, all of that rage, all of that masculinity from both sides is completely gone. And they turn into completely different people. Magically, instead of it being war all the time, now they want love and peace. I'm like, where did this come from? I'm going to state this again, just like it's always been stated. Even before I was even here, it was stated by some elders that the black community needs to do a lot of repairing, a lot of healing, a lot of therapy, a lot of talking, a lot of community work, and that is specifically what you are able to hear. And also to go on to the fact of what one of the other women stated before, she was like, hey, it also stems from the fact and rubs me the wrong way that we're also never seen black enough for the black people and white enough for the white people. So again, like I told a lot of y'all before that decide to go out here and be in these interracial relationships and having kids, you're being selfish because you are not giving them, because you can't, you're not giving them the proper utilities in order for them to understand the world and the perception that the world is going to have of them and that they are going to have of the world. Why? Because you're not of the exact same blood as your children. And what I mean by that is you came, more than likely, you're from two black parents. That Caucasian woman or man that you're with is from two Caucasian parents. But yet y'all came together and decided to, formulate a child, and now that child is interracial. That child is biracial. And now they got to go out here in the world and they got to deal with the judgments from both sides of which they are from. And she is correct. It does come to a certain extent where you have people in the black community who are not readily, in a sense, too nice, right, or too accepting of people who are biracial because they feel that they have some type of a leg up and or a privilege. Like, oh well, you got a whole other side and yada yada yada. It's like things are easy for you. Like, look at your skin complexion, look at your hair, look at your eye color. It's like, you know, that's how it is. And to a extent, from the things that I have seen, right, and been able to witness in my life and have been told to me, in a sense, they are correct. That when it comes to people who are biracial, they are deemed to be more beautiful, right? Because people are like, oh, look at the eyes, look at the hair, look at the skin. It's like, oh, if I were to sit up there and be with this person, then my children would come out so beautiful. I can't tell you how many times that I've heard that from girls in school. And you still got women to this day that say the exact same thing.
I remember my mom through her dating phase, and she's had a lot of boyfriends. I remember one time she tried to go back white. And we had a conversation, or not back white. I don't think she ever really messed with white men, but she just wanted to try something different. And I remember her telling me a story about how this white man she was dating, she met him at like the bar, and she just left out that she had kids. And as soon as she mentioned us and her having black daughters, he was completely turned off. And it made her feel, and it made her feel like, I'll never date anyone that will never accept you guys. Y'all are my pride and joy. And I remember just that one dating experience. She never went back to a white man at all because she just felt like there's no way I would ever be with someone who wouldn't fully be accepting.
Or that your kids would.
Well, and mind you, half of my whole white side of my family didn't really accept us.